Welcome back to Ascend Legal 101. I'm Ramona, and today I'd love to talk to you about staying creative and open when we have staffing shortages and when it looks like we have no options for staff. Now, I believe that we always have options. And I think unless you are hiring somebody with a very specific skill set, such as aircraft maintenance engineer or rocket scientist or brain surgeon, you want the right person with the right skills. But if we're working in other industries that perhaps don't require such a specific skill set, a lot of skill sets can be taught, a lot of skill sets can be learned, and we can use transferable skills to move somebody into another area. So sometimes when I'm with my clients, I hear a lot of nobody wants to work. And in my opinion, that is not true, because I speak to people every single day who do want to work. I think the caveat is that really they may potentially not be qualified to work in your industry. So it's not that we have a whole bunch of people who are lazy bones. It's really that perhaps they're not qualified to work in your industry. So that's it. That's kind of an easy qualifier. And I always ask my clients, my law firm clients or another firm or agency that I'm recruiting for, are they open? Are they creative? Are they prepared to be creative when trying to replace staff or fill staffing shortages? And they always tell me, yes, they are. And what I mean by that is, are we looking at apprenticeship programs? Are we open to training? Are we open to training and perhaps using a continuing legal education component? Are we open to management training? Are we open to on-the-job training? Are there transferable skills or education that we can work with to move somebody into a position so that they're a valuable asset in your firm or agency? And what I'm finding is my clients will tell me, oh yeah, we're creative, we're open, let's find somebody who wants to learn and work. And what I do is sometimes I bring a candidate forward where I can see they check all those boxes. They perhaps do not have exactly the right skill set, but we can see there's transferable skills, some other form of education that again is relevant. And then we hit the wall of resistance. And it's a lot of different excuses. Too much of an investment, too much training required, or if they're overqualified, they're too much money, they're expecting a big paycheck. And you realize that the clients you're working with who swear to God they're open and creative are clearly closed. Their focus is closed. So what I'd like to talk to you about today is moving from that closed focus to perhaps opening it up just slightly. So perhaps it's not closed, but maybe we have a narrow focus. So when you have a closed focus, of course, there are no options. Nothing's going to work. We just are in full-on resistance, and you just want what you want when you want it. And unfortunately, in a staffing shortage or what we're seeing in many industries right now, sometimes you can't have that. So we're going to have to get creative. So in moving from a super close focus, if I can get my clients to open their focus even a teeny tiny bit so that now we've moved to a narrow focus or a convergent focus, we're just opened it that much. This is the kind of focus you get when you're concentrating, when you're focused on one thing. It happens automatically when we're under stress, right? We get a very narrow focus. It's not closed, it's narrow. So oftentimes when I see people with a really narrow focus, when we're talking in terms of staffing shortages, as we get really hung up on particular details or one specific issue or event. So what I like to do is help my clients move from that closed focus to just a narrow focus, right? Because a narrow or sort of convergent focus can actually be really helpful and super beneficial. And then we work on opening our focus. That divergent focus opens you up to greater possibility. It opens you up to creative solutions, opens you up to way more options, right? We go from no options to one option to tons of options. The world is ours. That's the place I think that's a mindset that we need to move into, so that we can sort of ride this staffing shortage out. And quite frankly, it's a pretty good life hack, period. So I think maybe everybody should just try practicing that anyway. I actually learned how to practice that when I learned how to meditate, going from closed focus, which was me all the time, to a narrow focus, focusing on one thing, to opening my focus and having this huge divergent focus, and suddenly my whole life opened up. So let's see if we can do the same thing at work.
So let's make this mean something with an exercise. I always ask my clients who their perfect candidate is. The best case. All your wishes come true here. What skill sets are you looking for? Education, experience, aptitudes, and attitudes. Then I ask my clients to assess their own team. Are there people on your team who want to move positions, receive a promotion, or take on more responsibility? Is there more flexibility here? Are there measures that need to be put in place so that your staff don't leave? I have a client who had a staff member leave, and they have changed so many facets of their environment to avoid burnout and accommodate their existing staff. That's really important. The third step is to take a look at your focus. Focus, focus, focus. Is your focus closed and you're certain there are no options? Is your focus narrow and there's but one option, but we've got these caveats in place, there's potential pitfalls, we can sort of only see what could possibly go wrong? Is your focus open to greater possibility? How creative are you? Are you seeing solutions that you didn't see before? Let's think outside the box. What are you willing to do to make work? What are you willing to do to make a particular candidate work? Do they need training? If you're not willing to open up to wider possibility, really are you the problem? Just so you know, the answer is yes.
So please let me know, leave a comment, let me know how you've gotten creative at work. Are you using youth engagement? Are you working with an apprenticeship program? Are you looking at people who are really interested and have the ability to learn on the job? I'd really like to know what your creativity has led you to. Thanks again for joining me today. Thank you for supporting this channel. Please go ahead and like and subscribe. And also, our long form interviews are now on every single podcast platform that your little heart desires. Thank you again.